Hey, Guoba here. The community has asked their burning questions on Fu Xuan, and today I will be answering them. Things like E1 or S1, or is Qingque taller than Fu Xuan? Incredibly important questions that just must be answered. I will delve into all those details and theory crafting specifics that you guys really want to know. My main guide, of course, is quite complete and answers a lot, but not everything in those 20 minutes. If you like these kind of videos, let me know with a comment and a little like, and maybe even a subscribe if you're feeling extra cheeky today. Anyway, let's begin. So we're first going to go through relics. A lot of people want to know about healing. There is the 2-piece healing set and the question of healing main stat. So I took my calculations from the main guide and used them to craft a texture of memories comparison, since texture of memories is easily accessible. I compared 2 HP percent pieces with a 1 heal percent piece, and then compare both with having a 2-piece healing. The 2 HP percent wins in Fu Xuan's effective HP, as well as HP buffs for the team. Of course, it has the most HP. The healing percent wins in heals, as it's an extra modifier to the heals. Heal percent also benefits her talent, but the chest piece goes overboard on that. So when combining the heals with the HP buffs, the healing wins, but by a small bit until you factor in more heals over the duration of the fight. Then you have to remember though that Fu needs to survive, and her effective HP is around 15 to 20% of the usual amount with healing investment. So if she survives in your tests and you have great gear, 2-piece healing is good, but heal body may be overboard in hard content. She may just die. Next, what is her best set with signature? Well, her signature provides very high HP stats, so you can probably forego Longevous and go for a 2-piece combo of Hacker, Wuthering, or Healing. You can even go Knight of Purity Palace if you're lacking on defensive stats. Next, do you actually need Energy Rope, even with signature? I'd say you pretty much always want to go Energy Rope. Of course, people have run HP, Anemone runs full HP, and it's worked. But when I tested without Energy Rope, it just felt like everyone had a much higher chance of dying in a shorter amount of time. Of course, if the enemy is dead, it doesn't matter if you have energy or HP. Next, we have a question on Vonwacq. Now, a lot of people make this mistake where they think a unit needs energy, so they have to use Vonwacq. That's not how Vonwacq works. It's only 5% energy gen, and it's only useful when it meets an energy breakpoint, like Qingque or Yukong 3-turn ults. Fu Xuan does not benefit from Vonwacq. Next, slow Fu Xuan. Is it possible speed versus HP boots? Well, slow Fu Xuan is kind of cope, even if technically the field may be up for more ally turns. You need to cycle the ultimate before you and your teammates end up dying. Enemies don't care if you're slow, they'll take their turns regardless. Of course, again, people have run HP boots just fine, and if you have a lot of speed subsets, you can go HP boots just fine too. Finally, how important is Wuthering? Well, Wuthering offers the highest effective HP for Fu Xuan, and you lose about 2k effective HP by removing it, or 1k if you replace it with Knight, for example. A lot of these questions will be answered through your own experience though. If she solo sustains just fine, you don't need to farm for Wuthering. Wuthering isn't 100% necessary if she tanks already. Now for a couple light cone questions, and our first one is about light cones, how strong they are with lower superimpositions. While the light cones are early superimpositions, the 4-star ones will still have great passives, so you can run them just fine. They won't be as competitive, but the difference between 8% and 12% all type resistance won't be ending your runs usually. And then someone got 2 of her light cones, congrats, and they want to know if they should superimpose it. Well, a tip I have for free-to-play or casual players or even low spenders is to keep all copies of 5-star light cones, even if they're niche. Only whales really superimpose, and who knows when it will be useful in the future. And the impositions do not change anything until weird breakpoints later down the line, which you won't care about. A signature is niche, but the heal provides a fun benefit that even Dreamy has already used on March 7th. So you can use it for that, or you can wait for a future HP percent preservation. There will eventually be another one. Now onto questions about stats, and of course the golden ratio question came up a lot. Now a golden ratio doesn't really exist when teammates also come into play with their HP buffs, heals, and then Fu Xuan's own sustain. That's why I instead gave a good stat line that I could achieve with solid investment that will benefit Fu Xuan and her team very well. And that is 7k HP, 1.5k defense, 121 speed, and you can even go to 134 speed if min-maxing. After that, getting more HP is always going to be good, and getting more defense on top is nice too. You want to have equal investment into all 3 stats. And speaking of extra stats, a lot of people asking if she needs extra speed. Why did I say 121? Well, 121 is a great breakpoint and 134 is too. I said 121 plus, which means you can go even higher. As long as she can sustain the team, extra speed shouldn't really hurt her. So make sure to get her good baseline of stats and then equally invest into more speed and tankiness. Or you can just work on a DPS because she's already sustaining your whole team. And finally, why does she have crit traces? Well, I don't actually know. Maybe her crit buff used to scale on her own crit, like Bronya's crit damage buff, but it doesn't anymore. Anyway, Asta has crit traces too, and most people don't run the crit acid meme. Sometimes Hoyoverse just likes giving them a bad trace. We now have a couple questions on investment, and our first is about talent level 10. So I think Fu Xuan's talent is very important. It's more effective HP for her, but also for her whole team. It looks like 1% damage mitigation, but that is a lot, and the heal on top is nice to have too. Again, this is an experience-based question. If she does fine without it, then you don't need it. It's about seeing how she performs for you in-game and investing from there. Next, I was asked about leveling her to level 80. Well, level 80 from level 70 Ascended offers 100 more base HP. So for min-maxing her sustain is recommended, but again, experience is the most important. If she's 70 out of 80 and doing just fine, you can chill. But that 80 gives more base HP, more defense, and thus more sustain. Now we're going to be going on to experience and how she performs in the meta. First, her solo sustain power. I think she's a very strong solo sustain. I don't see people have problems with her unless they're facing lots of debuffs like dots and death shreds. The HP reducing debuff, for instance, is usually game over for her unless your DPS carry the fight before they all die. A common question is comparing her to Luocha. Is she the best defense? Well, I think for surviving damage, she's the best unit in the game to do so. That is just her key role. But let's compare her with Luocha for those that want it. They perform different roles and can't be truly better than the other, but let's discuss. So her prevention of damage is better, but his healing is far superior, meaning any non-fatal damage is healed up much better than Fu Xuan. Her damage buffs are superior, especially with both of their E1s. Luocha's skill point generation is much better, and since he can run at high speed without ruining his sustain, he can go even speedier with things like multiplication on top. Fu Xuan, however, is forced to use skill points and can't go as fast as him. Fu Xuan is preservation, synergizing with units that want to take less damage. Luocha is abundance, synergizing with units that take lots of damage and want to heal it back up. Fu Xuan's CC shield is amazing, but Luocha's on-demand or even off-field cleansing power is much better into debuffs and especially darts where Fu Xuan falls. Both are amazing defensive units and both are just as good. They excel more into certain scenarios than the other. If you want skill points, Luocha. If you want healing, Luocha. But if you don't want to die, Fu Xuan. And if you want buffs, Fu Xuan. Next we have some questions on synergies and teams. People ask if she's the best with Lunae, who's the best sustain with Lunae? Well, since she uses skill points quite often, and every other solo sustain doesn't need to really, then she's one of the worst with Lunae due to his high skill point usage. You can probably make it work though. Another question is, what is the best Mono Quantum team? Well, we don't have team simulations yet, but my favorite Mono Quantum team is actually the fake Quantum team, where you go your Quantum sustain, Quantum DPS, Silver Wolf, and match a harmony to the enemy's weakness. A Qingque or Zealer with a Bronya, from what I've seen, is much stronger than a sub-DPS Zealer or Qingque on top of your regular DPS. The best Mono Quantum team will be when we get a Quantum Harmony, really. Next question is on the best carries with Fu Xuan. Well, there is no real best carry. Every crit DPS enjoys her buffs, and most teams can use her. Solo sustains are of course welcome anywhere. I'd say Qingque and Clara benefit the most from her CC immunity though, since Clara can't counter when CC'd, and Lightning Law takes a nap if Qingque is CC'd. Now a common question was also how does she fare with Blade, since, you know, HP buffs, crit buffs. Well, the problem with Blade is he's really good with, but also hard to use with, Fu Xuan. He's the only DPS that truly benefits from both of her buffs, and the damage mitigation is a bonus for his talent. Because he wants to be hit, so being hit for way less damage is really nice. But he will still cut his HP a ton, and Fu Xuan can't keep up with healing that. So the way you'd have to use him is to use his ultimate to heal back to 50% HP instead of cutting his HP. It won't be as high damage as running him with Luocha or Lynx, but if you want to use your Fu Xuan with him, I'd imagine that's how. You might even be able to pull off dual sustain with Lynx, Fu Xuan and him, since a non-CC'd and HP and aggro buffed Blade sounds pretty scary for the enemies. Now we have some pool value questions, and the first is her Litecoin worth? Again, her S1 is definitely a luxury pool. It saves some investment into her, you need less HP and subs to get her base ideal stats, but she runs just fine with some 4-star Litecoins, and there's of course textural memories, which is free. The damage percent from her Litecoin is really small, and it's more of a quality of life and luxury Litecoin than a game changer. And of course, next is E1 worth. Her E1 is also a luxury pool. I don't think there's any really must pull thing. You either get a whole new unit or 30% crit damage. It will benefit any DPS in your team, but most teams will run 1 DPS, so that's a 10% DPS gain or less on that 1 DPS. With 2 DPS of course you get another 10%, but that's if you can run 2 DPS. If you're interested in hyper investing into your current teams rather than expanding your roster, then E1 is very good. If you're clearing fine, then you don't need it. Now comes the question of E1 or S1. You really just want to pull and you need to pull and you can't stop pulling, so you want to choose one of these. Well, this is all about experience. Again, if she solo sustains fine, E1 is the better pull. If she's struggling with that and your damage is fine, S1 is the better pull. If you absolutely have to pull one, then I actually prefer E1 for the damage boost. Sustain shouldn't be a problem, but S1 doesn't provide insane sustain powers compared to other options. DPS checks will keep getting higher however, and more DPS will come out than sustains, so they can't power creep sustain needs that frequently. Speaking of power creeping sustain needs, we have a question on pull value with Gepard and Luocha in the account. So since she provides a new role over them, she can still absolutely be pulled with them. But if you are thinking about account value and pull value and you have these two units, then you can skip, especially if you're a low spender or less. Both can solo sustain just fine in this patch, and Luocha even has a better time doing so on some stages with heavy debuffs. It's just like having more DPS, you don't really need it, but it's fun if you want a new unit. Finally, is Fu Xuan future-proof or the most future-proof unit? I definitely think she's future-proof for a long while, but I can't really say who's the most future-proof unit. Just like Luocha, she is definitely future-proof though. He provides insane healing, she provides insane mitigation. Both are necessary for different content, and if they power creep Fu Xuan very quickly, then we're going to spiral into endless power creep regardless. She is very strong, and no unit in like the next year should be much stronger than her for sustain. I instead think they will side grade her and Luocha and provide new options, like new buffs on a sustain unit. Now let's finish with some miscellaneous questions. First, did Fu Xuan like the Barbie movie? Well, I love the Barbie movie, and so I think she should have too. She's also fully pink, so you'd hope she could relate to Barbie's aesthetics. Next, does her effect resistance come into play before her CC immunity shield? From what I've seen, her CC immunity will stop CC debuffs before any F-res is accounted for, so it's only useful for turns outside of that shield, but very useful for other debuffs that won't be blocked by the shield. Next, is she taller than Qingque? A redditor actually recently analyzed the model heights of every unit, and they found Fu Xuan is actually smaller than Qingque. So sorry to Fu Xuan, but you are very small. Next, what are the best simulated universe paths? And on top of that, should I get the split damage destruction 3-star blessing? Well, from what Fu Xuan enjoyers have told me, they like destruction provided you don't take this split damage destruction blessing. It essentially removes her damage distribution and can just ruin her whole sustain. It's nice though without this blessing to stack tons of damage reduction on top of her since she's already a beast. I think abundance could be nice too for the constant cleanses and healing on top of her strong mitigation. So that's most of the questions you guys asked for. Again, if you like this video, please let me know. I enjoy doing these videos, but I feel sometimes they might be boring or repetitive. We did a pre-release, a main guide, and now an Ask Guoba. I did try and get this out earlier, but I didn't like how it went, and I don't want to put out content just for views. So I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you to all my amazing members and you guys for watching. Have a Guoba day.